Welcome to another episode of Redacted. Today is Wednesday. I almost said Thursday. Wednesday, November 25th, 2015. Literally a month away from Christmas.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas in a month, guys.
Oh my god, don't start. Don't start.
What?
You got.
What?
We start on the 20th.
Okay, if you're going to be such a humbug Scrooge.
I know.
No worries, bro.
Otherwise,
No
all
worries, bro.
the Christmas comments and all the craziness. But yeah, it's been a crazy week since last podcast.
Extremely.
A lot of things have changed. A lot of things have been happening on Star Citizen. Obviously, we got the new 2.0 and all that other fun stuff. But before we start talking...
But is FPS out though, Saurus?
Yes.
Oh wait, I've been shooting people in the face. Yes.
Yeah, we have.
Yes.
Okay,
Very
so
much out.
before we jump into that, let's us see what everybody's been up to all week. So, Torque, what have you been up to?
I mean, I think we've all been up to pretty much the same thing, but I have been playing a lot of Star Citizen PTU.
Yep.
And it's really, really fun. I think if you're showing the video now, we're showing a video of me in the FPS map today, because that was the most stable part of the build, at least for me, for whatever reason. And I found a guy, killed him on the stairs, and just had a dance party on top of his dead body today. It was
yeah,
really
I
fun.
had. I can see how focused you are in the.
Yeah,
in the
because I
thing.
know
I'm
that he
guilty
saw
of it
me.
as well.
Right?
Yeah.
I know that he saw me, but he doesn't know that I saw him. So, like, I kind of knew where he was. He'll just be, like, coming down the stairs, and then I just
I know
rip
that
him
look
apart.
because I see it on streamers quite often. It's
Yeah.
fuck the chat look. I don't give a
Yeah,
damn
it's,
what
I
you
can't
guys are
focus
saying.
to the chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very much into what I'm doing, and I wish you guys weren't here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna briefly ignore you.
I'm just gonna
for
play
this moment
games
of
right
time.
now, just for a brief moment. Yeah, and then I'm gonna dance on your dead body, and it was really fun. So it just turned into a dance party. The chat was just spamming Grey Win, and just WTFO Ben, and like it was just nuts. It was a lot of fun, and for whatever reason, the music that was requested at the moment was like perfect. It was just like the perfect moment. No, that's what it was.
Yeah, I know.
It was.
I was watching.
It was IDD's version of "Can't Touch This" with me singing about sledges being OP. Oh, it was so good.
The Ahi one.
I was so pumped. No, the one before that.
Okay.
Oh, it was fun.
Very awesome.
But yeah, it was a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And BoredGamer, what have you been up to?
So, obviously, I've been playing a lot of 2.0 on the PTU, which is extremely crashy.
Yep.
I know people thought that the content providers got, like, somehow got into the PTU earlier or whatever. I can promise you they didn't. There was lots of people asking each other to borrow each other's accounts from all content providers.
Yeah.
It was incredibly fun, and getting to see the first iteration of a lot of this stuff is amazing, because we thought it was going to be buggy. The main buggy thing is the servers crash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's so fun.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it matters. Like I guess for Star Citizen fans, like right? Do you even care that it crashes? Like just to experience the stuff that we've experienced is so awesome. And I don't think we would play any other game with this many crashes.
No.
Other than this one.
There's literally no other game I would play
No, like this.
like this. Yeah,
In this
Totally
state, right?
Totally right. There's never been anything I've enjoyed more. It crashing and going like, oh, I got 8 minutes out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
really happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, I got 20 solid minutes of gameplay.
Yeah,
this
I know.
is the most
I mean,
amazing thing ever.
And like people were like, "Oh my god, did you see Saurus? He got 30 minutes of solid gameplay. Whoa, witchcraft!"
Like who
Yeah.
says that? And like we're saying it. It's funny.
But on a more serious note, and I apologise for being a bit serious now, but you did ask me how I've been doing this week and how I have been. So many of you might be aware that I suffer from manic depression, and over the last few days I have been really, really crappy and feeling in a really crappy mood. Can't really be arsed with stuff, so apologies for that if anyone's experienced my I feel quite lethargic kind of thing. I'm sorry if I'm bringing down the stream. But I support this fantastic movement called Switch on the Light, which started in the UK, and it's about breaking down the social taboo of talking about young men's mental health issues. And this has gone on to be like everyone's mental health issues and stuff like that as well. But it started that way, and it's hashtag Switch on the Light on YouTube and on Twitter. And I very much would love people to check that out if they have a friend that's obviously suffering, if themselves are suffering. I'm very lucky in the fact that I've always had great friends to talk to, and I always know I'm going to get better. Some people don't have that same kind of know that they're going to be better. But it's the same spark I feel for Star Citizen. I'm going to be better, and it's going to stop crashing. But other than being super serious, I tell you what has happened. That last week I said wouldn't. I said that I'd decided on certain ships.
Yeah.
That changed since the sale. No, you can't, can you?
You can't ever, right?
Oh yeah, I think that's what we should talk to first about before we jump into the forum stuff today, or even before we jump into my stuff here, is the ship stuff. Actually, you know what? Let's hold on. Let's hold on to that. We'll do that.
Yeah. What have you been doing this week, and then we'll go into it.
So,
what have you
for
been
me,
up to?
I have been playing the shit out of 2.0 and realizing that I am actually not bad at FPS. Not bad at all.
I'm going to stop you there for a second. Okay.
Yep.
Number one, no one in that game can shoot.
Apparently.
Nobody.
Yeah, okay, I was running around trying to punch people, and every time I tried that was crashing. I'm not sure why. But the pistol, the pistol is so OP.
Okay, so
is it? I haven't even used it. I always go for the assault rifle just because it's different.
The pistol is OP for the fact that when you get hit with it, it's like you just got hit with an EMP, and you cannot control your bodily functions. You get hit by it, and you look up into you look up and you turn. And it's like you lose your... And it's not that it does a ton of damage, because the machine gun definitely does way more damage a lot faster. But when you do that, it throws your aim off. It throws everything... It's like it electrocutes you, right? So if you were... Think about if you got electrocuted and your body froze up and you can't, move. That's what it is. And it sucks.
You guys are going to experience that soon. You're going to experience that very soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I saw you, on a 4 or 5 man killing spree. And then... a guy came through the airlock, you retreated to reload, you came back round, he shot you with one laser, and you couldn't find him.
Yeah.
You were in the ceiling, spinning around.
Yeah, I'm like, I couldn't move my mouse down in time, because what would happen is by the time I recovered, he would hit me again, and it would do it to me again, and it just keeps locking you up. It's cool. The handgun's a little OP in that regards, but it still didn't stop me from going on murderous rampages. I would hear the sounds in this game are so amazing. So you would hear ships coming up, or you'd hear ships flying by.
Yeah,
or
you'd know that they're coming.
I would intentionally park my ship on a platform, so it was very visible from when they warped in. So you would see it, and they couldn't help themselves. Every time they had to blow that ship up. So while they were doing that, I could hear them. If I was on the other side, I would run, watch to see where they were going to land, and then just sort of follow to the airlock that they were going to. And there was some cool stuff. There was one point where I was coming through the airlock, and I was sitting in the airlock, and I was like, I know he's going to be outside. I gotta rush out there before they come in and catch him off guard.
Yeah.
And I open the door, and they're literally standing right there. And I just unload in this guy's face. It was amazing. It's been so much fun. There's been a lot of crashes and stuff, but I haven't had this much fun in Star Citizen since it first came out.
Since the day it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
And it's been continual, and I'm so excited for when the crashes stop, and so when we can start actually playing with other people. Because right now, it's one of those things where you don't really have the time to set up a team and get everybody organized together, and then try and get over there, and then sometimes it crashes within 5 minutes, so you're lucky to get over there, shoot somebody, and then restart. Sometimes you get really lucky, like in this video, and I get 22 minutes of solid gameplay.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of people.
It's just you running around a station murdering people.
This
in
is
circles.
this is
It's
just
fun.
me. Yeah, and you know what? This is what I've basically been doing. I've done the Kovalex station stuff. I've done a couple of the
I haven't
Comlink
gotten
relays.
to do that yet.
The Kovalex station is super spooky.
I know,
But
I
doing
wanted to
this,
do it, but I kept crashing.
it feels like Twerk said, this feels really stable for some reason.
I couldn't work out how to get onto Kovalex Station.
I can
Oh,
I can show you guys how to do it. When you first,
Yeah,
basically when you
there's
first
little
warp
red
in,
lights.
you have to
Look
get
for the red
close,
lights.
like just keep going straight towards it, and then you'll see 2 blinking red lights, and there's a blown through hole right in between them.
And you just
Oh, so it
you
is
EVA
it is
in.
supposed to be hidden
yeah,
ish.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's, you
Yeah,
EVA in
and
you
now
don't land.
and now with the latest patch that came out last night, it will tell you that you're trespassing on private property and that you're not
Yeah, I
allowed to
heard
be
all that.
there. And yeah, it'll come over your comm systems and stuff.
So
But-
did the last patch bring in better sounds as well? I assume
Yes.
the C patch.
Yeah,
Seems
so-
to be better now.
the machine guns they just sound much better. Much better in general.
There's two things I'm desperately waiting for in this game. More destructible environments, so when your ships damage stations,
Yeah.
and echoes. When we start to get the sound echoes of people's footsteps and like bullets hitting the ground and stuff like that, that's going to make those stations incredibly spooky.
Yes. And the thing is remember, these are all just the first passes on everything, right? And we know that we're gonna have multiple passes on things, and knowing that, I guess we could just jump into talking about 2.0.
Right,
Yeah.
well.
I mean,
like-
that's gonna be a majority of the day anyway.
That's the majority of the day. Like the fact that they have so much stuff in this patch. This is the biggest patch they've ever. I think this is bigger than when they released Arena Commander. Personally, there's
absolutely.
way more content. There's way more things, right? You think of the different physics grids. You think of the FPS stuff. You think of EVA properly. You think of multi-cruise ships, mission systems, being able to.
Nobody signed up for Arena Commander.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on
You know?
how you view it, because Arena Commander was required for proof of concept for me.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, "This is going to be amazing." Now, this is proof of game. This is literally look at what is happening
Right.
on all the first iterations of actual mechanics and stuff. So, I mean, they're different, aren't they? This is
Yeah.
amazing for us. I mean, this is
Yeah,
amazing.
well, this is what we signed up for. This was this is the first step to the persistent universe, right? This is what we paid $45 for our game package, or whatever you happen to pay at the time, right? I think my original pledge was 35, and I totally signed up for this. Obviously, the next iteration of Wing Commander and with Squadron 42, and this is that first step to that, right? Like, Arena Commander was cool, but that's not what I was interested in at all. I was not interested in close, tight dogfighting arena combat. That's not what I signed up for. I signed up for this stuff. Go from one station to the next, explore and experience things. Like, sometimes I just take a few minutes, like, even though we don't have a few minutes at the moment in the patch, but I just take a few minutes to just look around at the environment. I mean, there's times where I just EVA around the station.
Yeah. I've done that
because
too.
it's just so awesome.
It's like the amount of detail in all the different stations and everything is pretty cool. Like, for me, it's like I'm able to go and start doing the things that I want to do, right? Like, I can go and be the jackass at Korea and just hold it down because I'm the bad guy and this is mine now, right? And it's just it's so much fun to be able to do that, and just come up with this new emergent gameplay. Like, for the most part, I haven't been doing the missions. I've been doing my own thing, right?
I've
And it's
wanted
been
to do the missions.
super entertaining, right? Just doing
The
my own
only reason
thing.
I've been wanting to do the missions is to see if there was variety, but I never got to stay long enough to do. Like, I finished one mission. That's all I could ever finish when I've tried, and I've never gotten another one to see if there was any variety in them. The only one that I did was the little black box mission, the flight recorder. I finished that one, and the second I finished it, the game crashed. But I was never able to finish another mission since, so I don't know if there's variety. Apparently, there's supposed to be. I feel like they wouldn't have all those comm relays if there wasn't variety. But that's the only one that I've experienced. No one's really told me about the other ones, so who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, the audio recordings, the voice actors they've got to do them, it's good.
They're very good. They're very good.
What is the lady's name at the one station? The two CIG guys are always, they put Craigasm and say her name in my chat all the time. It's pretty funny. I wonder if like they know her or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't actually know any of the secondary voice actors. I haven't researched into it, and I probably
I think it's like her actual name in game, the lady at the station. But it's just funny. Like what if she's just like the office girl or something like that, you know? But that's something that like while I do want to do what you're doing, Source, is just kind of do my own thing. I also want to experience like the gameplay that they put in for us. So that's like Tessa Bannister.
Mm-hmm.
Tessa Bannister's got a sweet voice. But I always turn off the music when I get to that part, and I'm like, listen to her voice, man, it's awesome. So, but no, like I also want to see kind of what they put in for us, because hey, you know, they worked hard on it, right? So I want to experience it.
Yeah, no.
But after that, I mean, the best part is there's replayability now, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, how much replayability was there in Arena Commander? Not as much, but now I can just see endless hours. Like, you're playing for way more hours on stream than you normally do, and the game crashes all the time. Just like imagine how much fun it's going to be when it's not, right? So I can't wait. This is very exciting times for all of us.
So before we start jumping into the news and all the patches and even more detail about 2.0, let's bring up the fact that we have another MVP for this week on the forums.
We do.
On redacted.tv. And if you're in Twerk's channel right now, I think you can type !forums. I think that's me. !
Redacted. I'm bad at remembering. I have the worst memory ever.
This guy doesn't even know his own commands. !
There you go.
Redacted.
This week's MVP goes out to Muppeteer SC for photoshopping some pictures together of the Aurora Bros, which is basically a group of people within Redacted and other content creators that love auroras.
Like they're auroras.
And something. Anyways, making some... The best picture here is this one here with Cage Geek. Is like... It's like a Volkswagen boss. This picture was it that just sold it to me. So congratulations on MVP. Also, this... like I said, with MVP, we will be giving a prize once a month for this. And Twerk, what do we have for this month's MVP winner?
So what we're giving away this month for the MVP winner is a $45 game package. So what I'll do is instead of like the Aurora MR, I'll just buy the LN because it's a little beefier. In case you actually want to use it, but you know, if you want to melt it, it's still $45 value instead of one of the $30 ones.
Yeah. And
what we did was we did a random.org and threw in the number of MVPs, and the number came up for last week's winner, Zeus Anoxia.
Yep.
So congratulations,
Zeus
Anoxia, man.
Yep.
Rigged.
So congratulations to Zeus Anoxia for doing that. Remember, guys, you too can get MVP. If you just post on the forums and let us know. If you guys haven't signed up for the forums, definitely go check that out. We've got all kinds of stuff there. It is fairly active. And I put a shit ton of work into it, so go over there and use it.
Go enjoy it.
Because it costs me money and time. So let's move into, I guess... what do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about...
If only we had some form of list where possibly...
I know. Well, we could go into the daily sales to start with. Let's just start with, I guess, all the sales in general, right? So we have the big ones that came up. We had some concept sales, right? Mm-hmm. So the Crucible concept came up. That was 350. The P72 Archimedes concept came up with a little bit of controversy around that. The Avenger variants, the Titan, the Warlock, and everybody already had the Stalker for that, and that was pretty cool. I want to talk about those ships a little bit before we move on to how the daily sales are working. But the Crucible, we've heard about this for a really long time, right? This has been a repair ship. We knew it was going to be one of the larger ships. It had like this. We heard it had this lattice work. I don't think the lattice work is there anymore. It has like these arms and like it's kind of shaped like a scarab, right? It's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, a little bit. But it also looks a lot like a World War II landing craft.
Yeah.
Like when they get onto the water.
One of those boats or whatever they're called. The U-boats, right?
No,
that's like a German thing.
No, I'm
German
thinking,
submarine.
Like a landing craft.
Yeah, I guess. I thought there was a name for them. But I guess not. They look like shipping containers cut in half. Kind of. And then we had the P-72. Now, the P-72, I think, sold the most out of any ship out of all these sales. And that's just speculation on my behalf. But the reason is, it's a $30 standalone ship with LTI that you can CCU to literally any ship above it. So the only ships you cannot CCU to are the Omega, because it's not something you can purchase.
And the Merlin.
Or the Merlin. So, it was pretty crazy. I know we gave away a ton of those on the channel lately. I used them to pick up some ships for myself. And transfer them over. I know other people picked them up for the same reasons. So that was very interesting. And I want to know what you guys think about them basically creating an LTI token. Because that's pretty much what it was. Because we've talked about this on the podcast before. I don't know if Bored was a part of the podcast then. But I was advocating they should just
LTI tokens.
Make an LTI token, sell it for $50, and I would buy it. And people would buy it. And they released a ship for $30 that had LTI that was essentially the same thing. Now, I have intentionally avoided the forums, the official forums, over this whole period of time, just for the reason that there's just so much stuff going on, and there's so much possibility for people to be salty about things, or things to be blowing things, being extreme on one side, or going to the other side and being extreme on the other side. So I've just sort of been avoiding that and hanging out in my own realm of just the stream and other streams and stuff like that. So I don't know if people are freaking out. I can imagine, just by experiencing the forums before, people are losing their minds. But what do you guys think of the P-72 being a $30 LTI ship and being able to CCU to anything?
I'll let you go first, Bored.
Well, I like it. I've upgraded all my ships to LTI, and because I
haven't upgraded any of them.
I don't believe any of my. I don't think LTI is that important at all.
Right.
I want it as a perk if I can get it, because
it's like
I
want the
most
perk.
I can possibly get. Well, I mean, it saves you a tiny bit of UBC in the verse.
Yeah.
And gives you peace of mind, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, people are obviously annoyed because they're basically saying you shouldn't be able to get it. It should be really, really hard to get. But CIG have never said it should be hard to get. They just said they won't release ships that they've already announced, that have already gone on sale with it.
Right.
So
I just the only thing that bothers me about it is it wasn't on the Merlin, but it's on this. And it's just, I don't know, it's just weird for me. It's a concept ship, but it's kind of so is the Merlin,
to be
right?
fair with the Merlin...
Can I just stop you all there for a second?
Yeah.
As I told you both earlier, I was going around being secret ship gifter earlier, trying to find people to give a ship to.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I was looking around, and I was going on Facebook, and I went on Reddit, and I went on the Redacted forums, and I found this guy called Dan, and
Did you put a link in chat or in?
He said I've just gone into Facebook and said, can you jump into Twitch and say at BoredGamer, hey, it's Dan. So this is on the like semi-official Facebook group on
Right,
Star
the one with
Citizen,
like 4,000 members and.
Yeah. And basically, it was someone that had a PC that could play Star Citizen, which were unable to play it for some reason. And I asked lots of people's issues. I said it's for a video I'm researching, but that was a lie. It was to give a shit package away. Dan, at me on Facebook or wherever, at me your fuck you, Sharp.
Yeah.
Send me your email and I'll get you over a shit package. Hopefully later today.
So this is something
congratulations, bro.
that also that we want to do. We want to start doing. I don't know if it's something we're going to do every episode, but it's something we want to do as much as we can and just sort of get more people into Star Citizen. So we are going to be going around and.
We're going to do it super sneakily though now because people know that it might be happening.
Know. Yeah.
But we'll be on Reddit. We'll be on Facebook.
And we all know who our regulars are. So don't try and trick us.
No. Yeah.
It won't work. It won't work. But yeah, congratulations to Dan.
Congratulations, Dan. Dan the man.
Yeah. So the daily sales. And then we have moving on from the P72 Archimedes, we had the Avenger variants, and one of the new things that they brought into Arena Commander 2.0 was this EMP function with the Warlock. And oh my god. Okay, so I originally, and we'll get into after we talk about the sales what ships we picked up, but I did have a Warlock for a period of time, and it was pretty awesome. If you stowed away in the Warlock, if you like just doing things like trying to EMP when you had after I landed in Kavia and stuff like that, it doesn't kill people, but it makes sure that nobody around you can shoot you while you're getting out of your ship, right? However, there is a force with that, so it kind of backfires and launches your Avenger off the platform. And into the rails above your head. But overall it's such a cool mechanic, and it's cool to see it working, right? It's not just like
at the moment I found it a little bit OP. I mean, it needs to get balanced because you can turn it on and then you can jump.
Yeah.
You can quantum travel with it fully charged.
Yeah.
And then when you come out of warp, if someone else, you can just stay there and wait for someone else to come out. Or if someone's already there, you just discharge it then.
But to be fair, you should be able to do that. The thing I think the balance is it does shut down your own ship as well. So if you're just playing by yourself, there's no real benefit to it. However, as a scout ship, well, I mean, you can turn your systems off and turn them back on. I tried that. I couldn't get it to work properly.
All you need to do is turn off your engines and your weapons, and then turn them on back quickly after your thing comes back on.
Yeah.
Because then you can start shooting immediately, and that's what you want to do. You want to get that. I love the idea of the Warlock because you can just give it all sucker punches if you want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and then just EMP.
Sucker punches. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you could. Yeah. Well, actually, you can't put something on the front, can you?
No.
It's got the like a stroke.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's already got the 2 sucker punches. But then you can just get one of your mates to take the ship while you're continuously sucker punching it.
Yeah.
So it's just so powerful. Sorry.
Yeah,
I can't wait for
it's
that
a good ship to shut ships down, and I think that's one of the first ships that we'll see, like a smaller ship that works well specifically with other fighter craft, because it can go in and shut those ships down before they get a chance to do anything. And there's no way for them to... The only thing they can do is run away, right? The range on it isn't very far. I think it's something like 300 meters or 350 meters or something like that.
Yeah, it's about 300.
So
it's
you got to be really close.
You got to be fairly...
It's 300-meter radius.
You got to be fairly close. But it's... The upside to that is... There's no way for the other people to prevent that unless they turn off their stuff in time. And
and if they do,
watching pilots right now, anyways, like for me, I've seen a lot of the new Constellation owners, and that's their only ship or something. So this is their first time in,
and they're just like
Star Citizen, flying in there.
This game is so fun.
Yeah.
Groups of ships can just you can have one with the EMP fully charged, and then just have some other ships around, so they can either turn off their systems and get boarded, or not turn off their systems, get EMP'd, then boarded.
Yeah, Yeah.
So
get wrecked. And I'm coming.
mate.
But yeah, no, pretty cool with the variants. And then obviously the Titan is the cheapest Avenger. And let me say that they all have the same loadout, by the way. The Avenger, Warlock, Titan, and Stalker, 2 Sucker Punches, and the chain gun on the front. They are very effective ships. They're very awesome. They're fun to fly. I think they look very, very cool. And they all have the same Warlock, or all the same loadout. The Titan comes in at $50 for an Avenger. That's a $5 upgrade from... I think that the Avenger is a nicer ship than the 300 series.
So what you got to look at, look at now though, is if you're going for a little bit of an upgrade over the Mustangs and the Auroras, are you going to go for the Reliant or are you going to go for the Titan?
Yeah.
What I don't understand is, we were told that they were working on the Avenger variants forever, and they didn't change the outside of them. Now, is that just something that's for now?
No. So what was happening is they were making a 2-seater Avenger for Squadron 42 originally.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they've had that model for a long time, they said. Like, I remember on RTV, like one of the original RTVs, Ben had mentioned, we have a 2-seater Avenger. We aren't planning on using it. We had made one, and it's just there. So they've had it for a while. So it was just kind of like on the back burner, I think, or they just literally were just working on these modules.
They had to do the modules. I don't know if I haven't checked to see if they have the new damage states. A lot of the ships have the new HUDs now.
Good point. Yeah, the HUDs. Right? So they were working on certain things.
We know that all the variants and stuff going forward, we're not going to see them like they did with the Constellation or the Cutlass, where they look different, unless their modules somehow affect their exterior appearance. And that, to me, is one of the most powerful things about the Avenger. You don't know what's in that Avenger. You don't know if that's carrying... if that's
a good point too.
It has also it doubled the amount of cells in it, so it has 8 cells in it instead of 4.
No, 6.
Is it 6?
6
instead of 4.
Yeah, 6 instead of 4. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't know if that's carrying prisoners or slaves or whatever. You don't know if it's a cargo ship, and you don't know if it's an EMP ship, and you won't know until you see a glowing blue bubble, because that's the one that you need to be worried about. So. Technically 1 in 3, I don't know what the real stats are on that, but 1 in 3 at the very minimum Avengers you're gonna see is gonna shut you down, and you won't know what like that's something that Avenger owners in general can use to their advantage once people start using the EMP properly, right? Is being like, oh, I have a Titan, but you can't tell. You don't know what I have.
Fly really close towards them. And to just stop your shit.
And freak them out.
Yeah.
And then they run away, and you're like, I just had really expensive cargo in here, and you didn't even know it.
Exactly. And yeah, I thought that was really cool when you can look at a ship and you're not sure what exactly is inside of it, because that's kind of how it should be, right? You shouldn't be able to look at a Cutlass and say, oh, that's a Cutlass black, or oh, that's a Cutlass blue. Like, I guess for some things it makes sense, but for I don't know. I just thought that idea and that meta gameplay with the Titan or the Avenger in general would be really cool. Moving forward, we have daily sales. So this has been interesting. They've done things different.
I like the way they did this.
This time, and I did and I didn't. Like,
I mean, it was okay. I had to work, and I couldn't get to some of these sales.
But you still will be able to. On some days,
exactly. So that's what's cool about it. I think is they have themed days, and they can have some fun with their themes and stuff like that. But then at the end, they open it up for everybody, and it falls on a Friday, so they planned it really well, because the final days where it's left over, it's over a weekend. So if you're not here, if you were working throughout the week and whatever, not only that, but like a paycheck comes in on Friday, and then and you can pick some stuff up. But do you want to go into like each day's sale
Yeah, so
and what they're giving up?
The first one we started with was the Exploration. So that was the Endeavor, the modules, and the.
Let me just interrupt you really quick.
Yep.
Before we start though, as we go through each one, if you picked up one of these, say something in the chat or leave a comment on the YouTube video on BoredGamer's channel. Let us know if you picked any of these things up on any of the sale days or planning to pick any up.
So yeah, so the first day was Friday the 20th. Exploration ships, so Endeavor and the modules went up. The Carrack went up. On the 21st, this was my day. The Caterpillar, the Herald. It says the Redeemer. It was on sale yesterday though as well. So I don't know if that's just always up or if it's supposed to be.
It could have been a typo by me.
No, it's not. Wasn't a typo by you because I remember. Believe me, I saw the piracy one, right? So it was just. I thought I was gonna have to wait, and I didn't. So
I thought that the Herald falling under piracy was interesting.
Well, some of them were really hard for them to place.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they went, you could use that for piracy.
Well, it's like they already have
One
the
of them
colors
they
blue.
placed
They already
really
have the
funnily.
Caterpillar in there, right? It's like they might as well just do the Drake sale.
But the
Yeah.
Herald is an information smuggler. It's
Yeah.
one of its roles.
So you'll
be intercepting info, and then people will be after you while you're running into the planet.
So that was pretty
Naughty,
cool.
naughty.
On the 22nd, we had the military sale, so Retaliator and modules, Starfarer Gemini, the Saber, and the Super Hornet. So a lot of people I know were waiting to get a Super Hornet or a Saber. So that was pretty cool. Now this is one of those days where they had to put a ship in with the racing one. So they had the M50 and the 350R, right? But they had to find. Obviously, the Delta should have been in with the military stuff, I think. But for whatever reason,
I'm so lost.
they put it in, so it's just not the two ships on that day.
But there were only 2 ships on Friday.
Yeah, I don't.
They were big ships.
I don't know.
I was just kind of like, wait, what? But whatever, it doesn't matter.
Tuesday the 24th, which was yesterday, we had the Alamaus, so the Cartual, Banu Merchantman, Reliant.
The Zion Scout, right?
I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah, the Cartel. The Cartel was in there. So I know a lot of people were really interested in getting a Merchantman or picking up a Cartual or even a Reliant. So they had that opportunity yesterday. Today is basically the working ships, the blue collar ships of the verse. So we have
The industrial ships, they renamed it to.
My kind of
Did
ship.
they rename it to industrial?
Renamed it to industrial ships. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and okay, so they have the Reclaimer in there. Genesis, I think this is the biggest one, right? So Reclaimer today, Genesis Starliner today,
Yeah,
the
like the most
Orion,
expensive.
the Aurora LX, which is the rare Aurora, and the Starfarer base, all went on sale today, and those will be on sale
Now-
until tomorrow.
We know that Star Citizen are obviously trying to make money, yeah? That's fine. They're a business, they're making a product, they want to make money. Now, for people that think they're just trying to make money, just remember this. On the military sale day, they could have said, we're going to sell some Idris Ps.
Or
We're
Idris
going to sell
M's.
24 hours. Or Idris M's, in fact, yeah. They would, however many they sold,
However
could
many
sell
they
10,000.
allocated, they would sell all
Yeah.
of them.
They would sell all of them. They could make like $10 million in a day if they wanted to rinse us. They obviously don't. They obviously know that they can drip feed us ship sales and we'll still buy. But if anyone ever thinks they're just after money, they're quite clearly not. These ship sales are to add variety in the verse and make money.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And so we have those for today. Tomorrow we have the mercantile ships, so the Freelancer MIS, the Hull series ships, and the Constellation Phoenix. Now,
So, yeah.
before
This is another mixed bag.
now it also happened with the alien ship, but it may have gone unnoticed.
Or the glaive in the package.
With the glaive in the package. So each one of these had its own package where you saved a significant amount of money, anywhere from 60 to with the alien ship, I think the whole price of the glaive. I'm not sure what I didn't do the breakdown, but somebody said that. That could be completely wrong. But I know that each package did at least save you some money on buying all those ships together. And I considered the piracy one, and then realized I don't need 3 cutlasses. I can only fly one at a time, and they're modules. So I'll just get
You hearing
one.
that, Clifford? You hearing that?
So the first one was the glaive. And I know a lot of people were upset with that. The thing that bothered me about that was the fact that they had made it only available to people who had done the 18 waves. And I think they should have kept that still. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They should have kept that as a thing. I don't care about the limited number of ships at all. But the thing for me, before I had actually melted my glaive a couple days before, but the thing for me was that it was the only reason I was holding on to it. It was this trophy that it shows that I had beat all 18 waves of the Vandal Swarm. And this is me showing that, right? Like, yeah, it was another $350 on top of that, but it was one of those things. That was the only thing out of all these. I know a lot of people were freaking out about the Phoenix because it's supposed to be a limited amount of number of ships.
But there still is. So the Phoenix, I remember them saying, and I remember Proxus also reiterating this when I was chatting to him, that it's supposed to be a certain percentage of Phoenixes in the world, not a limited number, and because a lot more players have joined, they're not breaking their promise.
Right.
Yeah.
It is annoying for people that were like, I want to be a special snowflake. We all want to be special snowflakes. Don't we?
Yeah.
So I want a Phoenix. I'm going to buy 3 or 4. Bathe in them.
Bathe in them. Well, I mean, it's a good thing they have tubs in them, hey?
They do. They do have
but
tubs.
yeah, it was I mean, and even the glaive thing is pretty minor, to be completely honest. Like, I don't really care. Like,
no.
If people want it now, like, it was kind of a cool gimmick, I guess, for when they first released it and stuff like that, and they get more people jumping on 1.3 or 1.2 or whatever the patch was when we got the glaive, in playing, and just it gave the community something to do at the same time.
I want more of that.
I do want more
of that community involvement.
I do want more of that. I would like to see cool little things that they make in the game that encourages things like, say, King of the Hill at Korea Station.
Yeah,
right?
Can you imagine? Like, you can only get a badge to buy this ship through exploration in the PU.
Yeah.
People will go mad exploring.
You can only buy it at a certain place in the PU that you have to find individually. No one can like transfer the coordinates to you. You actually have to come across the jump point to get there or something, right?
Okay, yeah.
I think they can do that. It's a secret location.
That is gonna happen. It'll be with in-game currency. It just won't be with real money. Right?
Yeah, and just before we go on any further, I know that there's a lot of new people coming to Star Citizen. All the ships that we're talking about for sale, all of these ships will be available for you to either purchase or steal in the game when it comes out. Okay, so you can buy your initial game package for $30, which they've been going on sale all week, which we haven't even mentioned yet.
Yep.
And then wait for the game or play the game currently, and rent ships in the game now. And when the game releases, buy them for in-game currency. So everything can be bought with in-game currency from today on. Everything that is flyable, you can rent today. Everything when the game releases is purchasable for in-game currency. So we are talking about like real money at the moment, but
yeah, remember that
again,
this is all
anybody can get them
in game. Also, I want to remind everybody, if you guys have any questions for myself, BoredGamer, or Twerk about Star Citizen, our channels, or anything else, type !question in chat. We will have Clifford, aka Miku, on later as well. Because they did release the Million Mile High Club and all of that stuff, and as we all know, Clifford is he's basically the Elon Musk of Star Citizen. Right?
Pretty much.
So He has that, so if you have any questions for him, myself, BoredGamer, Twerk, all of us, one or two of us, let us know. Try and keep it related to Star Citizen or our channels or the Redacted forums or whatever. And then the 27th to the 29th, all of those ships, everything that they've had, including those packages, will all go on sale again, which is really cool. Now, I want to know, this is the time right now, Twerk, what did you pick up? Or what did you melt? What did you buy?
I bought nothing for myself. I bought 10 Auroras.
Yep.
The $30 ones. I bought 3 P-72s. I gave one of those away so far. Yep. I am currently doing voting for the channel on which other ships we're going to buy. We had about almost $900 in donations towards buying some ships over the last little while.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a $250 ship, a $150 ship, and then I'll mix in the rest. So if you guys actually want to vote on that, you can do that today by typing in !250 in the chat on which ship you want me to give away that is worth $250. And the current winner at the moment is the Banu Merchantman.
Oh my god.
So yeah.
I want the Banu Merchantman gift.
Yeah, so
I voted for the Caterpillar.
That looks like it's going to be winning. So yeah, so vote on what you guys want to see me give away on my channel. I don't know exactly when I'll be doing that giveaway.
You didn't do any melting?
I did no melting. I did no because everything that I have currently I want, other than maybe 1 or 2 ships, and they're really not that like they're not valued that high where I can pick anything up with them. Yeah. I think the only thing that I'm considering picking up is the Warlock because it seems like something really cool. I already have an Avenger, and I don't really want the base Avenger because I don't have a need for it. Every ship that I own has like a purpose for a different type of game mechanic.
Yeah,
and there you go. Warlock seems pretty perfect for that, right? So,
I mean, I picked
that's
one
kind of
Warlock
the thing that I might pick up.
I did pick a Warlock.
I was gonna pick up the Crucible, but I decided not to.
Yeah, I know you were really close to that, weren't you? You were really close to the Crucible.
Yeah, and I changed my mind.
I mean, you still have until the 29th, so I mean, you got lots of time to change back.
Yeah.
So chat should probably persuade him to get a Crucible. BoredGamer, what about yourself? What did you?
Well, I mean, as I said earlier, I'm a manic depressive, and that doesn't make me have the best skills when it comes to choices. And last week I'd said that I wasn't going to pick any more ships up. That hasn't happened. So, I mean...
I lied a little bit.
I don't know what to do here. I mean, I've got my Orion and I've got my Endeavour, that I'm keeping them. But I've obviously picked up a Warlock because it's replaced what I wanted from a Sentinel. I wanted a Sentinel to be able to capture alien ships.
Right.
And the Warlock is the Matrix version of that I can work in a group to effectively capture alien ships.
Yeah.
And it looks like effectively quite a high tier ship almost for doing that because it looks like it's going to be sub-effective because it's just a giant EMP. So other than that, I've got a Constellation and a Retaliator because, you know, PTU. But
Are you going to get rid of them?
Yes, I'm going to melt them because it won't affect my PTU account now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to melt them, and I picked up a Banu Merchantman. Well, I have picked up a Banu Merchantman. I've melted the Constellation already. I picked up a Banu Merchantman, and I'm going to melt the Retaliator and melt a couple of the other things on my account. And I think I'm going to buy a Carrack.
I don't know what to do.
That's
the only ship I might melt.
I just want to say right now, because we have Clifford on later for the questions, every time we're talking about a ship that we bought or something, he's over in the background doing awesome ships.
Keep buying, boys. You'll catch up with me at some point.
Choose. I don't want to spend any more money, and basically for that Carrack, I'd have to melt my Warlock.
Yeah.
I don't want to melt the Warlock. And it might be better to melt the Banu and get the Carrack instead, because I'm thinking about stuff purely for gameplay. I've got enough ships to be able to make money in the verse. Yeah. I can use my my Orion and I can use my Endeavour to really farm for money. But the Carrack would be great for day one or beta exploring. I can go onto planets, I can go deep into the verse, and I can get some great footage.
Yeah.
But I think it like totally trumps the Aquila. The Carrack.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, hands down. Hands down.
I think I might buy an Aquila to Carrack upgrade. If I buy anything, that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm currently keeping my Aquila in my hangar because it's the only multi-crew ship that is hangar ready that I own. So like when new people come to the game, you can show them kind of what multi-crew might be like. Like, hey, there's this big ship, there's all these panels here, there's another ship in the back, there's this cargo. So you can kind of explain to them how it works for new people, and that's the only reason I've kept that thing and haven't changed it to a Carrack, I think, yet, because it just seems so much more awesome. It's way larger.
I would just like to say that someone in chat, ThunderGod97, has said he spent $12. No, that's not how totals work. Look at what you've got there and total them up.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. If I wasn't so big into the piracy stuff and needing ships for piracy gameplay, I would have a Carrack, 100%.
I mean,
that would probably be my only ship because that's like such. Yeah.
Exploration seems really important for every. That's the thing for almost every single type of gameplay. It's kind of you need some sort of exploration.
So for me, I think that the Caterpillar is going to be able to be bodged into doing half-assed roles for everything. So it's going to work really well for pirates that want to just go around screwing up people.
Yeah. So for me, okay, like I said, I melted my glaive, and I knew. Okay, so I went into this knowing that I wanted to get a Caterpillar, right? And I had a Cutlass Blue, I have my Cutlass Red, and my Super Hornet. And before I knew, I thought, before the whole module thing came up, I always was like, rip Super Hornet, it's just going to go, and it's going to become the Caterpillar, because I want to keep that LTI, because I just want it, right? So I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. But I was also like, I was basically had to take a good hard look at my ships and be like, okay, what ships am I going to actually use and what ones aren't I not going to use? I had recently acquired a Gladius for hitting the 10 referrals, but that has a melt value of 0. My Omega has a melt value of 0, right? So I can't melt those ships. That would be the dumbest thing in the world. Those are free ships. They're just going to sit there. So it's like, okay. And I want to try and in the position that we're in now, we can have LTI on all the ships because I already have LTI on all my current ships except for those two. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm not using the glaive. It's the most expensive ship I have. It's got the fixed weapons. They'll never be able to be gimbaled. And
you don't need them to be gimbaled. It's so agile.
No, you don't need them to be gimbaled. However, with the gameplay, the way that I play, I prefer that for my game style. And so I'm like, I'm trying to avoid fixed weapons where possible. So I'm like, okay, well, let's remove... Because outside of that, it's just a giant trophy for me. I'm like... And this was before it went on sale. I got rid of it. So I'm like, okay, let's get rid of that. And actually, the first one that I melted was my Cutlass Red, because I'm like, I only need one Cutlass. I'll just buy all the modules for it, and then it'll be fine. And the same for the Caterpillar. I'll just get the modules for it when it comes out. And then we heard about the Warlock being in 2.0 and the EMP stuff. And I was like, okay, a lot of people are going to want to see this. So I'll pick one of those up temporarily and then I'll melt it down. So I picked up a Warlock. And I still had... Oh, and I also bought an Archimedes to upgrade to a Caterpillar. So I also have the Caterpillar now, which I didn't have to CCU anything else. So I have the Caterpillar, and I picked up the Warlock, and I still had 150 credits left over. And I was like, well, what
No. You had $150. That isn't play money.
No, from melting.
That was real money, sorry.
It was at one point.
Real money.
It was at some point.
It was at some point, but at this
money.
point, it wasn't. Right? So it was like, okay, so I have this 150 credits that I can use towards whatever ship, and I'm like, well, what's the biggest ship that I can buy for 150 credits? And I was going through, and I saw that I could get the Retaliator base for 150, and I was like, the Retaliator is such a cool ship that it's one of the ships that's flyable right now. It looks amazing. There's all kinds of stuff. And oh my god, it's such a beautiful ship. But it's not a ship that I am going to use or need. So,
yeah.
After I made my content with the Retaliator and showed damage states and showed the toilet exploding and showing people the EMP stuff, I said, and all of this stuff still on my PTU now, I said, you know what? I need to look and see what ships I actually want, because if I want to keep this LTI collection a thing, I kind of have to deal with it now, or at least just pick up an Archimedes so I can do that. I know I can unmelt stuff later, but... So I'm like, okay. And I go through and I'm like, Piracy Sale had the Redeemer. It's too bad I can't get the Redeemer right now, but I want to go look into it more anyways. I had one before that I gave away on the channel. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, this is what I want. So I melted the Avenger. I melted the Tally. And now I have a Redeemer. So, yeah, boarding, gunship.
And I think that ship makes a perfect sense for you.
Yeah,
right?
It's
Especially
something that I'm going to use.
The gameplay you're enjoying right now.
Yeah.
A lot.
It's definitely something I'm going to use. So, yeah, that's sort of my trip through this. I've also picked up 7 Archimedes, I think. 7 or 8 Archimedes to give away.
I've got quite
We've
a few
given away
Archimedes in the hangar.
4 or 5, I think 5 Warlocks, 2 or 3 starter packages. And then now we have a donation goal going for the end of the sale. So on the 29th it's going to end, and we're going to pick up some stuff. And we've already hit 350. So we're already going to be picking up a Crucible or an equivalent to that, like a Carrack or whatever, $350 ship. And then anything after that we raise, I'm going to put into other giveaways as well for that. And yeah, so, I mean, for me, I have now broken the 6K mark. So before I was around 56 or 5700, and now I've broken that. So pretty neat.
Congrats, man. I don't know if that's congratulations. Or...
yeah.
I'm sorry. Sorry for your loss.
So yeah, that's how the sales are. The sales are still happening right now. You can still pick up the Avengers any day. You can pick up the Crucible any day. And every day, I think at 11 a.m. PST, I'm not sure what time it is for you guys, when they do the starter ship sales, they're releasing 1,000 for $30 every day. So if you're looking to get a starter ship package...
Occasionally they do more, and occasionally they do them earlier.
I heard they did 2,000 2 days ago and 3,000 today.
Oh, so maybe it's going up.
Jeez.
I heard 3,000 today. But I just saw that in the chat, and it's Twitch chat.
That could be a lie.
Yeah. They get me sometimes.
They
get me. Yeah. They have gotten me many a time. So, but it was definitely 2,000 the other day. So,
we do have some things that I want to kind of show here in the background. Some interviews that they did.
Yeah. So they were pretty awesome. Are we gonna have volume on them, or
no?
We'll chat about them.
Yeah, we'll just talk about them and how excited Mark Hamill is to be on the project.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
And how excited you can just tell by the way he talks about Chris and what he says in his interview how not only excited he is for the project, but how happy he is to work for Chris Roberts again.
But both Mark Hamill and John Rhys-Davies are so amazing as just people.
Yes.
They are so happy, and they are so talkative and passionate and enthusiastic about what they do.
Yeah.
And that's why they choose that. That's why they're able to choose the roles they do. They go, I desperately want to do this role, or I want to work with these people.
Yeah.
And that's why they're happy. That's why they're happy people.
Yeah.
Just look how enthusiastic it is in his eyes, man.
Yeah. No, it's very awesome.
What that tells me is I know I played the Wing Commander games growing up, and that tells me that he enjoyed being a part of those. So I know what Chris said is they just said, we have a role for you. Do you want to take it? And he never even looked at the script and just said yes.
Yeah.
And he had way more lines than anyone else. He just said yes. So that tells you that the trust that he has in Chris, and that he's going to make something amazing, and the experiences that he's had with him in the past making Wing Commander, that he just absolutely loved him. So, yeah.
No, that was really awesome when I heard that too. He's like, I didn't even look at the script, and I said yes, and then I looked at the script later, because he's like, he knew it was going to be
maybe.
good. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, that was really cool. What else was really cool? Is you can also see, like, when Sandy's doing the interview, how happy Sandy was to be doing that interview with Mark Hamill for Squadron 42. It was just an awesome interview all the way around. But it is really hard to top the interview from GameStar with John Rhys Davies, because John Rhys Davies is like your hilarious uncle, or like a grandfather figure that's just like, you just look at him and he's like, and he's like talking to a mic and he's like, you know what, and he's like making all these jokes that the interviewer just goes way over his head, and it's amazing. and you see he asks like something about dwarves being in Star Citizen, or something. He said something along those lines, and John Rhys Davies just went into character and just was like, it was amazing, it was awesome, and like right here, he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna take the microphone. He's just so commanding in an interview, and he's just so used to it, and he's so comfortable in this situation. It just made the interview so, like, it was so fun to watch. To see him and to see when these guys are this passionate, not even just about this character, but all the characters they've been in really awesome roles, it just makes you think like if this is what they're doing for an interview, how much work are they actually putting into creating this character for this game? It is gonna be amazing. And
absolutely,
I like the fact they invited so many magazines and reviews, and lots of which we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
And the NDAs and stuff, because when the NDAs came off on this, it was the day of the anniversary sale and release. Right. But there's loads more we haven't seen yet, and I'm so excited to see some of the stuff that we're not allowed to see yet. Some of the press releases and things.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome just to see. Like look at his face after he does stuff. He's like, yeah. It was just awesome to see, like the enthusiasm in the actors that are doing this, and
you would, like, I don't know, you would think actors like some of these guys, like, yeah, I'm just doing this video game thing, like, it's no big deal. I can't imagine that they'd be getting paid anywhere near what they would for a blockbuster movie and so on. But they seem like, because it's something so unique and so different, I feel like they seem more passionate about these roles than maybe some other ones, is the sense that I get.
It's kind of, I think film for a lot of actors is a way to kind of almost live forever in film.
Yeah.
And this game, this is going to be people playing with you as an actor. So if you look at it that way,
totally different.
Yeah, I think that's kind of awesome.
It'll be.
I'm so
It'll be pretty awesome, and to hear the quality of the voice acting and the stuff right now in the game. Right, compared to,
because we don't know much about the secondary cast, do we?
We don't know anything about
voice acting. I think they're going to be I think they're going to be a really great sci-fi cast.
Yeah,
I hope Tessa Bannister is in
it.
Yeah. So, very cool. Also, moving forward, we have the subscriber vault that came out with the Crucible. Now, this year, if we go over. We have a post on the Star Citizen subreddit that was made by Proxys. He does the subscriber votes on here. And Bandit Loaf, aka Ben Lesnick, has a top comment here saying, sorry to split this one up. The vault breaks after about 75 images. And these are all the Crucible images for this one. We have about 300 to go for the Crucible. So, I have a couple up here that I'm just going to show. That's not This is not what I was looking for. The subscriber vault is right here. There we go. So it does show quite a bit of their concept work and ideas for the ships, and like their anvil references, and like look at this weird cruise vertical weird bird looking thing. Very strange. This thing looks like it has an open mouth.
They did some weird stuff, man.
They did some weirds. This is like an upside down lobster. Just like all kinds of weird stuff. Anyways, they had.
Like, I never even thought of it that way.
They had they had 75 images, and we know that there's about 225 more to go. So that was pretty cool. And once again, you get that by becoming a subscriber to help Star Citizen create community content. And you get a bunch of perks like the hangar flare and seeing that and seeing the jump points and stuff like that.
I'd like to know what Chris Roberts is like when you give him an idea he hates. Like, he sees some concept art. Does he go, oh no, we need to work on that? Or does he go, what the fuck is this?
I wonder.
This is the thing, is we've sort of seen a little bit into that. And more specifically, when they were looking at the armor types for FPS. When he said, this looks like it came from some old game. And he's like, what is this? This is terrible. And he just, it was the original pirate one where it was like yellow cloth and it was just really gross. And it was in a jump point. And you can, because you see the back and forths between everybody and they publish it all.
Yes, the jump points are great for that.
Yeah, so I have a strong feeling that, if it's garbage or if it's something that Chris is like, no, what are you thinking? That he will say, what is this? This is terrible.
I'm glad. I'm glad he does.
Yeah. So pretty neat for that. But yeah, 2.0. I mean, it went live. It went live Thursday, and we've been playing it for about
PTU.
6 days. Yeah, it
went to quite ready for live.
It went to PTU, and it's going to be on PTU for a while. It also brought in...
I think they were hoping that it would be live by now, but it just kind of didn't work out
Well,
that
you
way.
say that. If it's just going to be... It might just be there's not enough PTU servers now. I mean, it's getting more and more stable for crash-to-desktop crashes for me. It's just the servers going down. I don't know if you guys have had this similar...
I've had more crashes to desktop.
Oh, I see. That's odd.
It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had about the same, maybe a little bit less. It brought in a lot of stuff, though. It brought in, and one of the big things that I want to mention about it, and we have Clifford on later for this, is it has the Million Mile High Club. And we saw sort of a sneak peek into that. We did have a video for that, but I don't know where that is.
It's gone.
It's gone. It was cool. Like it's like this bar. It has the biggest fish tanks in the verse, right?
Yeah.
That wrap around it. It's got that other room that if you have access to the jump point, you know what that other room is. Spoiler alert: there's a pool table in there.
Oh my
nice.
god!
Oh, pool table gameplay will be so cool.
Sending all my ships now. Thanks for that, Saurus.
Yep. So the only way to get into the Million Mile High Club was, I think there was only 100 backers, or roughly
the first 100 backers that bought the $10,000 pack.
$10,000 or $15,000 package.
101 backer, get right.
The 10,000 packages were called the Wing Commanders, and the 15,000 packages were the Completionist packages. So if you had either of those older ones, you could have the Million Mile High Club. It is no longer available for anybody. The only way to get it now, and they've mentioned this with the referral system, is after 1,042 referrals. Now, I can speak for myself. I'm sitting at 10.
I am sitting at 5.
I've got a few more.
Don't say it. Don't even say it.
He's sitting at like 30.
No, I've got 40 now. And 140 and 140.
I'm just gonna do a Star Citizen emote real quick, if you guys don't mind.
Well, so I have the benefit of being having that kind of a semi-official tutorial that people watch when they join Star Citizen.
Yeah.
And my videos are much more salesy than a stream would be, because I can embed all my stuff in there. So it's a lot easier for my guys to transfer over across to buy the game, because they'll see the game, me playing it and enjoying it because it's been edited, and they'll go, I want to play that game. So they'll follow the link and buy a package. Whereas on a stream, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, they generally know about the game already by the time they made it.
Yeah, like on streams, that's what I've noticed is like 98% of the viewers on my channel already have
$1,000 into the game.
The game, it's like ridiculous.
Yeah. So that was one of the things. We don't know what any of the other ones are from the 25, the 42, the 100.
Well, we do know one's a racing package.
Is it? Okay, I didn't know
one's
that.
A racing package, and one is the entry into the club.
Yeah.
I think I've got. I'll dig around and see if I can.
I'm
find
sure. I'm sure that Million Mile High Club isn't the only thing you get at 1,042.
No.
Things.
Gotta be some more.
I mean,
more
one
awesome
of them's got to
stuff.
be an Idris. Surely 250's got to be an Idris.
Yeah. See, I even thought 100 would be an Idris.
I mean, it could be something like that, couldn't it? I mean, we don't want to get people's hopes up because we don't know.
We don't know. This is just us speculating right now. And I do want to remind everybody, if you guys have any questions for any of us on the podcast or Clifford about Million Mile Club or anything, to go with one with Clifford, to type !question in chat. I also want to mention that Clifford started something, not yesterday, but the day before in my channel, where we put together a bunch of money to go buy pizza packages, or pizza packages, a pizza dinner for everyone down in Austin, for all the QA team and everybody down in Austin. So I want to give a nice little shout out to Clifford for that.
Way to go, Cliffy.
Yeah,
so we've been playing the PTU 2.0. I want to know what your favorite part of the game is so far.
Go, board.
Well, it's probably going to be the same for all of us, because it's the
Not necessarily.
It's the most stable.
Mine's different.
Okay, that's cool. So
Mine's
for
not.
me, it's the first-person shooter element, because it's the most stable, and I know I'm going to get action when I go there, because everyone will rush there, and there's a nice big fight that will go on for half an hour before we crash.
I have gone from wanting to be a pilot to wanting to be boarding.
Okay.
I personally just love the missions. All I've really wanted to do is complete the missions. It's unfortunate that they're
So crashy.
buggy and they're so crashy, but I just absolutely love the idea of gameplay that is replayable in Star Citizen. I don't care how crashy it is. The idea of, hey, let's go to these, comrades. If you feel like opening more, go ahead and do that. And then, you go to the next part of the mission. And then, it's a continued storyline. Like, basically, there's quests in Star Citizen now. It's super awesome. So, that's actually what excites me the most. And then on top of that, like, quantum travel and then go to third person. It's pretty awesome. So, there's, like, lots of cool stuff. And just all the cool things that people are doing, like quantum travel and then jumping out of their ship.
So, are those
And
missions?
stuff is cool.
Are those missions in the verse? Are they going to be instantized? So, or will other people maybe accidentally turn up when you're doing a mission?
People can show
People
up,
turn up
I
all the
think.
time. People show up all the time. I've had multiple people while I was doing one.
So, after you've gone to the Comrie, like after you've been there, do they show up
On
after
my
that?
last part of the Comare mission, somebody was in the instance with me.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
We were both searching for the same thing. I found it first. I don't know if that means that he can't find it, but I found it because I had a chat that told me, find the red light, you idiot, because I'm just like looking around. and I'm like,
Such
I don't know
helpful
what
chat.
I'm looking for. There's nothing on the radar. And they're like, there's a little red light, just look for it. And then it took a while, but I finally found it, and it was cool, man. There's just like a story to everything that you're doing now. So like Source, you went into the Kovalex thing and got a little more luck than I did.
Yes, I managed to go through the whole thing a few times.
Yeah, there's a story.
Yeah.
That follows with what happens. I guess I didn't get to hear all of it.
Yeah.
Other than the first part. But
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, just that's
I don't really want to spoil the story for anybody, but it is cool because there's like the audio logs and stuff that you can listen to and going through, and you don't know there could be other players there. And there were a few times where I'd come around the corner and then get blasted by a machine gun because there is sometimes a machine gun that spawns in there, and just get blasted by another player because it's an empty thing. The only thing it's missing is some sort of like creepy like jump scare because it is it was like playing Alien Isolation or Soma.
Well, because I think the Vandal, we've seen some of the clips of them doing the character work with them.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to be able to crawl and like
they will be
all
able
areas, possibly on the ceilings and stuff.
Yeah.
So when you've got stations that are creepy with Vandals scuttling around,
it's going to be fucking
crazy,
insane. Yeah.
And again, guys, if you want to ask questions, !question in chat. And I know with 2.0 coming out, there's a lot of people that are new to Star Citizen. Any question that you are unsure about and you want to ask, like, feel free to ask it. Don't be afraid to. Especially those kind of newbie questions are more than welcome now, and we'd love to help you guys out and teach you about this awesome game. So
yeah,
don't hesitate.
So
that being said, let's jump over to doing questions right now, and I'll bring. Oh, look at this guy! Who is this guy?
Oh my God!
Is this a wild Clifford? A wild Clifford appears.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So, I'm a leprechaun.
Yeah, so we have a few questions. But before I do that, Clifford, I just wanted... I know you probably wanted to chime in on a couple of those things. So, what ships have you picked up during these sales?
Well, I picked up... so far, I did pick up a Crucible. I exchanged in my completionist pack one of the Phoenixes for the Crucible.
This guy's getting rid of his Phoenixes.
Yeah, well, I'm keeping the one. Got rid of one of them, and then I got one of the Avengers I swapped out for one of my Deltas, the Warlock, and then the other Avenger I swapped out with one of my Aurora extra LXs I had in the completionist package. And that's about it, and then I went back, melted some of my other extra ships to buy a couple more Crucibles and a couple more of the Merlins to remelt later so that they would be in my data to probably bring them back if I so choose, because I know so far that CCU will not be available once beta goes live, but I still have a strong feeling that unmelty ships will be available because that would give SIG more money down the road while the game is in beta.
Yeah.
That being said, one thing I found interesting when y'all were talking about the Warlock, what I would like to see to counter the Warlock is I would like to see you be able to tweak or upgrade your shields that would not really hamper the EMP, but would say it only disables your weapons.
Or maybe it only disables your shield.
Yeah,
or
and
it only
lets
disables something random on your ship of one type of thing.
Yeah, and it'll give you that little option of, hey, if it knocks out my weapons, I can still maybe get away, but the other guy still has the chance that he can still take you out if he's a good fighter.
In all honesty, I think that the shield one makes the most sense for that. That it would have some sort of shield that shields against EMPs, but it takes the shield down with it.
I mean, I like the idea of having possible hull armor, possible internal shielding that you can put around components.
Well, we know the Herald will have that.
And your own shields as well. But obviously, if you do that, that does something else. That either removes a slot that you could have used for something else, or in the case of your literally your shields, that means you're going to be less effective against taking energy damage and ballistic weapons.
Yeah,
that's fine. Ships should be balanced.
Yeah.
And they should be able to do stuff, but if you focus on those areas, if you want to protect yourself against EMPs, you're not going to be so protected against bullets.
Yeah, and I like that. That's, because they're always wanting to, I had that caveat where nothing's always, the supreme, ultimate be-all, end-all ship. So that's what I thought about, we all made me think about, actually, the Warlock. When you were talking about the referral system, I would like to see, I know that's like a lot of referrals to help to try and get the Million Mile High Club. But yeah, I would like to see them below that give like maybe an opportunity to get maybe a lightning that they never offered. You know, that'd be a good object to give to somebody. Or maybe the opportunity to get a javelin, or the opportunity even to just buy one if they wanted to, because I know it's an expensive ship. But like y'all said, the instead of just giving them an Idris P, maybe an M. Give them an extra little bonus, not just a P. Give them an M at say 500 referrals or something. Give them a little bit of something to work for.
Yeah.
But I would like to see them. Yeah, and knowing the referral program, I think really reflects like how WoW does a lot of stuff when you refer a friend and you get an extra mount. I definitely could see it being really good for when the PU is live to give people an avenue to get maybe rare ships that they will never sell, but that are in the persistent universe.
Right.
Well, that'll get added in later, won't it? I think that's the sort of stuff they will add.
Yeah.
To
later on
the game
down the
alive.
road kind of thing.
But you've got to remember, people are still going to effectively be able to buy ships if they put enough money in each day to buy UEC.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's good. I know there's, a lot of people that are kind of disappointed that, helped a lot of people. I mean, I know I've bought in several ships to get people into, the universe, and this is kind of like, $8 short, kind of for some of us long-term backers. But it just is what it is. You're never going to please everybody. You're never going to make everybody happy, no matter what they do at times. So it's just like, just roll with the punches and going down the road with it. But, it's like everything, like when the Me and My High Club comes active, I'm going to invite as many people in there that I can at a time, because I know it's limited to the amount of people that can be there at one time. But like I've always said before, I'll probably invite mainly a lot of the org leaders, a lot of the officers that I deal with, and then go from there. And a lot, of course, content creators like Twerk, Gray-Headed Gamer.
Said me first.
BoredGamer, stuff like that would help their channels and help, them in a way to show it off. Hey, this is what you... Because, they already led to us that there's going to be more, that they're actually using... I know they've done away with, quote-unquote, the room system, but it's still there. They're just attaching, more assets that they have, that they showed that door that, you can't go in there right now because there's going to be stuff added on. So I could see them adding, like Source, I'm pretty sure would be kind of cool if they added, pool tables or some more Vanguard Force.
Well, we know that they're going to be able to buy furniture and things like this for our hangars and place them around and move them around and things like that, right? Like, we'll be able to customize our hangars. So I wouldn't imagine that we couldn't have something like a trophy room. We couldn't have something like an office. We couldn't have like a recreation room or like other
firing arm room,
firing range and all that other stuff, right? So definitely there. But let's move forward on to the questions. So the first one from Timer67 to all of us asks, what are your thoughts on everything on the forums about the Phoenix concerning its limited sale? And what are your thoughts about the availability of these ships in the persistent universe? So I think I kind of already answered that earlier today for myself, that I don't, if people want it, and like you said earlier, BoredGamer, it's based on a percentage of, or Twerk, it's based on a percentage of people and not a hard number, and that makes a lot more sense anyways.
But it's really important for me to have a variety of ships in the verse when I spawn in. Some of them NPCs, some of them players.
Yeah.
And that's quite, for variety and flavour, that's really important to me. Now, people are very sort of like, have a mindset of it's pay to win, or it's that kind of win condition. That doesn't make sense in this kind of sandbox game. It's not a pay to win, you're playing to make your own story.
Yeah, and I wouldn't consider a Phoenix a pay-to-win item. It's more like almost just a luxury item.
Yeah,
I know it does have, some, as they said in the deep dive of the Phoenix, is it has more higher-end defense capabilities. Because, of course, if you have an expensive ship like that, you're hauling around probably more uppity people that want to be protected.
Well, I think it's got one of the old Class 9 defense systems, which is some form of point defense for, I think, shooting down fast fighters and missiles, I think. We don't know entirely how those anti-point defense thing weapons will work, but they're
I'm
kind
looking
of
forward
good
to
at them.
Just seeing that.
And one thing that always, I know people kind of forget that I always keep going back to, in the more expensive packages on the site, they're always available to buy. I mean, if you have a bunch of ships and you're like, well, I really want a Phoenix, and I got a bunch of ships I can melt that are kind of redundant that match that package, you can go for a bigger package and still get a Phoenix. So, it's still kind of a rocky situation that, you try and base it on percentage-wise, but when the ship has been available like forever since they've had the bigger packages. So I don't know. I think people sometimes forget that because they see the bigger packages and how much they cost. They don't really look at them.
No, like I know, for example, too, like I work with a few people that are in the video game world and they know about Twitch and things like that. And I always hear, well, Star Citizen is so expensive. You have to pay $15,000 to play that game. And like, it's just like, guys, come on. It's $30 right now. And like, the game is going to be way better than any game. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So like, there's always that
people will start
being
to
said. So.
I think now that we have more of the content, more of the things to do, and we just have more eyes on us in general, right? Like, let's be honest, everybody's seen an increase in viewership, and an increase of people coming in, right? So with that, I think it's only going to grow from this, and right?
Star Citizen Dance.
That's a Star Citizen Dance. And that means that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come in and be like, oh, I thought this was that, but clearly it's not. And this game looks amazing. And what is the best way to get into this game? And I'm getting people that are asking me that now, right? So
update PTU. Update PTU.
Okay, so for those of you, there is an update to the PTU. This will fix a lot of things. I can't download it because it fucks up the podcast. Screw you guys.
Hey, I'm waiting because it'll mess with my camera too and stuff like that. Cause
it'll likely mess with our cameras a bit.
Yeah, so you guys can't download it either.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try.
BoredGamer is definitely downloading it right now. It's definitely downloading.
Yeah, I know. I just saw I literally just saw the little spinning wheel for like a second there. So great, fantastic.
Is that fine? Is that good?
Yeah.
No,
you were fine. I saw it for a second.
You're going in there and manipulating that deal and taking it off at hyperspeed and putting it on the lowest setting. Okay, I can still download a little bit.
56 minutes. It's good. That's fine.
Oh, it's a small patch. No. How big is it?
Where does it tell me how big it is?
It usually doesn't tell you on these. It's been.
It's not very big. It's not very big.
It's not very big. Okay.
Really. It's looking.
People are saying it's not 2.0 D. I don't know, but we'll see.
Well, after C comes D. So
I want the D.
They would be probably incorrect.
I would like more of the D in my life. Yeah.
Or
there's definitely a launcher update. But.
Or it could be the fix to C to force it, because there was some witchcraftery going on with C that you had to like dance in the rain backwards, upside down, and fucking knock 3 times. Say, like in Army of Darkness, you had that to say that saying exactly. Otherwise, when you go in, you crash the server for everybody.
My head now.
Is the dance that you're talking about analyze your game files and delete your user folder?
Yeah.
Was that the dance?
You're a wizard. You're a wizard. Yeah.
I'm a wizard, Harry.
We don't speak like that, racist.
No, it's more of like...
Pretty tricked.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to another Star Citizen video! Look, you can just see... You can just see his face of disappointment when I said... Okay, going on to the next question.
God.
Oh,
We're just
man.
yelling at each other.
Side Slide asks, we all expect Star Citizen to be around for a long time. What feature or event would you like to see take place in the universe 2 afters after release?
Don't care. Racists.
Ooh, I would like to see the Xi'an human war happen. Because it was kind of like a stalemate type of... Like, if you guys have paid attention to any of the lore, think of the Xi'an and humans as the U.S. and the Russians. Kind of Cold War situation. That's kind of where that lore was inspired, I believe. So they get along with each other, but there's still that hidden
tension.
We don't trust. Yeah, there's tension, and we don't friggin' trust you type of thing. So I can definitely see that being like 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, some sort of like a story arc quest or things like that, which would be really cool.
I mean, I'm desperately waiting for Operation Pitchfork to happen.
Oh, that too, yeah.
That's the thing I am looking forward to the most, and everything else is kind of pushed out of the way in my head.
What I'm really looking forward to, and I always had this replaying in my mind, is I would like to see, like, if in one of their expansions where the Vandal actually break through and start annihilating against Terra, and we have to, and everybody, not just even pirates, all the orgs and all the Star Citizen community have to go to Terra and defend it. Like, everybody's going to take everybody in the community to go there and battle it out to save Terra. I
think Clifford just wants to see destruction of the human race.
Look at this guy.
I just think of, when I always think back, I always think about Star Wars when they're battling right there outside of the second Death Star. I want to see that. I really want to see an all-out war where everybody, no matter what race, no matter what alignment you are, we all have to work together to defend Terra.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be some things that are like that. They will get people to sort of... Otherwise, yeah, there will be some things where they will try and use the game mechanics to make people work together regardless of alliances and things like that. Look at Operation Pitchfork and things like that. They're trying to do those kind of things already before the game even comes out, let alone after the game comes out.
I want to make this very clear as well, actually, while we're on the topic. Me and Twerk, we're miners. We're in different organisations as well. Saurus is also in a different organisation. He's a scummy, scummy pirate.
Hi.
We are not associated.
Everybody's afraid of being associated with me. That's okay.
Well, and Redacted is a group, not an organisation. That is not run by Pirate Saurus. It's not run by Miner Monkey.
Well, no. it's like me. I'm not a pirate.
And I couldn't run a bike, so... Yeah.
Well, no, that's because you ride a bike. You don't run a bike. So, yeah, you're probably right.
No wonder. No wonder.
No wonder he can't run a bike.
Sorry, Clifford.
No, it's fine. Well, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's just like, I'm going to be more of like a merchant and businessman. I want to do business with pirates. I want to do business with mercenaries. I also want to do business with UEE. I want to stay on that fine line fence to where I'm still welcomed in the UEE, but I want to do business with everybody. And necessary, people forget that, everybody thinks about pirates as bad guys. Well, there's people who want to be pirates, but want to be pirates for a different reason. They want to be pirates so that they can go into lawless space, and they just love the more high level of, like, got to be on your toes doing business with people.
I want to kill people.
Just be, well, they could be, a pirate trader, and they just want to trade strictly with pirates, strictly black market.
So
and not necessarily go.
I'd refer to that as a smuggler rather than a pirate.
Yeah. See,
and people that want to go into lawless space, I would refer to as privateers almost, rather than.
Yeah. For a pirate, I'm down to kill people to make money.
Yeah, you're a proper pirate.
Opportunist. Yeah, is pretty much.
Yeah, and it was like me. I'm just going to be like, hey, Source, here's you 5,000 credits. I want to go through your zone that you are running or own or taking over, but I still want to do business with you. Here's 5,000 credits to look the other way to let me go through and do business and then come back out. So there's going to be that. Yeah.
What we said early on was we won't attempt to affect anyone else's content. So Saurus won't try and if he knows I'm mining in a field doing a mining video, he won't turn up. But if he happens to turn up in the verse and I'm mining
without if you didn't say anything to me, and you being you doesn't affect how I make money. Right?
Hey guys,
oh my god.
The PTU patch notes are up.
Yep.
Would we want to read them on stream? I actually think one of the things
can, if
is
you wanna
very
put-
significant.
If you want to put it in the news section.
Gotcha.
On that.
Shit, son.
Here, let me.
There's something at the bottom that
This.
looks very interesting.
You said
to
bottom.
me, at least.
Okay, let me
I
go.
did say bottom, and I said interesting.
Okay,
But
so
yeah, we can discuss that.
did you post? Did you put it under links?
Nope, I put it in the news section at the bottom.
Oh.
So, yep.
Do we have a? Okay, there's the PTU notes there. Hopefully this works for me because I don't know what my latest password is. Sign in. Nope. Okay, give me 1 second, guys, and I will.
Yeah, we'll keep talking. We'll keep chatting it up, and I'll kind of maybe. Did we answer Berserker's question yet?
Yeah, we already answered.
I can move on
if
to that
it's
one.
blue, it's answered.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will go on to First Class Titans question, and it says, "How do you guys feel about being able to invest as an org? Example: Buddy 1 has an interest in starting a factory, but Buddy 1 doesn't have a startup capital. Buddy 1 goes to Org 1 and proposes their business plan, and then Org 1 can take the investment or pass it to Org 2 if it is much of a risk for Org 1. Then the org would get in returns like bi-weekly, monthly. I don't know if that's like
There's a full
gonna
contract.
happen.
There's a full contract system that will happen in the
So
game.
that kind of stuff can happen then.
It can happen, but we do need to see how the economy is going to work to be able to work out effectively how contracts will be implemented.
Yeah. I think that would be very interesting. And then it kind of takes into the gameplay of you don't really ever need to leave your ship or a landing zone or...
You can stay in the bar in your first starting zone after you've completed Squadron 42. You don't even need to play Squadron 42. You could just stay in your first spawning point.
Yep. And
that
do
would be
business.
Kind of be cool. Yeah, that would kind of
That'd
be
be
cool.
kind of cool.
It's a good...
It almost reminds me of like the Shadow Broker in Mass Effect. It didn't really go anywhere.
yeah.
Stayed on his ship and controlled everything from there. Be a Shadow Broker, basically.
Yeah.
I think that'd be awesome. Really.
So-
that plays to my heart's content.
I have these patch notes up. Clifford, you will still be able to see him. You will not be able to, or you will still be able to hear him. You will not be able to see him. I apologize. we weren't expecting this.
Oh my god.
So Star Citizen Alpha 2.0.0D. This is a patch for the 2.0 PTU. Please fully restart your client and launcher to ensure your client is updated. Your PTU client should now read 200-300522 PTU as the live version. Due to the number of recent fixes to the PTU, it is strongly recommended that players delete their PTU user folder and verify their files after patching. The user file can be found, you guys know where it can be found. If anybody has any questions, you can ask in chat, and people will be able to help you out with that. But if we go into the fixes here, the hangar module, they fixed an issue where the elevator was not working and would cause a crash, so that doesn't do it anymore, apparently.
Yay.
Social module, they fixed the issue where players could not fire FPS weapons in or around Cryastro. They fixed several issues with quantum traveling involving collision. I know because that happened. You collide into people and it would just black out and you wouldn't recover from the blackout until someone killed you.
I thought Cryastro was supposed to be an armistice zone as well.
No.
So that was a bug. Oh.
Environment particle effects have received a performance pass, particularly around thrusters and engines. Fixed an issue where the Constellation would remain in partial quantum travel state if the pilot left his chair mid-quantum travel. Technical. Fixed several server-side crashes in Crusader. Fixes have been focused around crashes that involve ship spawn, destruction, and server cleanup of specific events. Fixed several client-side crashes in Crusader. Fixed a crash that would occur when players attempted to return from hangar from Crusader. So very awesome.
Yes,
hopefully
that's huge.
those are small at the bottom. They don't look whatever, but hopefully those are the
But
things
they are significant.
that fix the crashing. And we will find that out today. We know they're not going to be adding any more people to the PTU if you do not have PTU access. So I just want to answer that now. But yeah, let's go back to our questions. But yeah, there are your patch notes right there. NK Sharp.
So this is a good one.
Yeah, so NK Sharp asked BoredGamer, how long until you actually punch someone to death in Star Citizen?
I tried. Every time I tried to do it, it crashed.
Okay.
When are you going to ask someone a question?
So you guys don't understand. I'm relatively.
When are you
going to
accidentally shoot somebody in the head? Twerk.
I'm relatively good with stuff like this. Like,
as soon as I find you,
I'll be able to kill people with like Vandal glaives through the wall, like going, oh, you can't get through this wall, but you can if you get your scythes through it or something like that. I'm very sneaky, murder. And I'm going to be punching everyone to death that I can, because I think that like if you get one pistol shot on them, they're not going to be able to shoot you. You're going to be able to punch the hell out of them. So I'm going to punch people to death as much as I can, all of the time. Probably as soon as it's implemented that it doesn't crash.
Right away. Yeah. BoredGamer should just change his name to PunchGamer. Okay. IDE KFA asks all of us except for Twerk because he's too cool to be here. What really amazed me, EDE is big, like really big, but being able to get out of your ship and stand on a landing platform with a big station behind you, this adds another layer of scale and depth to the game. Agree, yes.
Yes.
It's confusing, the scale and depth it adds. Like, the perspective
no,
and the scale
he's saying
confuses my brain.
In Star Citizen?
In Star Citizen, the scale and depth just confuses my brain. I get out of the ship, I'm looking around, going, this station's huge.
Yeah.
I get in my ship, and I fly away from the station. That station is tiny.
Yeah.
And I've just travelled across the fucking universe in quantum travel.
Yeah.
Literally, again, a huge amount of real space.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to tell on a monitor. Some people get it, some people may not get it as much. I think that once VR is implemented, it's going to give you even more of that. Oh my god.
The wow factor.
Yeah. NK Sharp asks, how surprised will you be if CIG doesn't provide with everyone with LTI once they reach $100 million? If they don't just give out LTI or LTI tokens, do you feel like this is fair to older backers? And how will it influence newer backers once they cannot get LTI ships at $30?
They shouldn't give out LTI like that.
No.
They said they wouldn't, so they shouldn't.
Yeah, and that's the only reason they shouldn't do it.
In the end, guys, like, if you're saying, oh my god, I was an early backer, I should get this or I should get that, if you're really a fan of this game, the more money people put into the game, the better the game's going to be that you play. So I'm really not all that against them doing what they need to do to make as much money as they possibly can for the development. Just remember, all the money up to this point is going towards the development of this awesome game that we're talking about, and all you people are here to listen to. So in the end, the more money they make, the better, or possibly faster this game comes out for us. So yeah.
And we have actually a couple more questions from NK Sharp. Do you think that it is fair for only a select amount of backers to have access to the PTU, especially for streamers or content creators, where it can make or break their stream for a while if they do not have access?
I wouldn't say it makes or breaks their stream overall. It certainly gives you a massive advantage and will give you a load of quick subscribers and fans and stuff, although you will be able to build on that anyway.
Yeah.
But you can get into the PTUs by making sure you're active on the issue council.
Yeah.
Or borrowing someone else's account.
I like it that they're not showing favoritism.
No, they really didn't. Lots of us were looking around for other accounts.
There is zero favoritism, but I still like the idea of...
I'm not going to say there's zero favoritism, but I'm going to say that there's zero favoritism in terms of them giving access.
Who gets into the PTU.
In access to the PTU. That was basically based on metrics alone. However, it's hard because at what point do you say this person deserves to have PTU access and this person doesn't, right? So at that point,
what was wrong?
The thing is like 30 people start streaming and say, "Oh, I'm a streamer now. Can I have PTU access?" And then, oh, everybody does that. Okay, everybody's going to start streaming because they want PTU access. Right.
Well, then it's also not fair to say that me, you, and a few others who have been streaming the game really consistently are the only ones that deserve it either. That's not fair.
Yeah.
But in the end, the way they did ArcCorp was the absolute, downright best way that they did any release for anything in Star Citizen. I don't understand why they didn't do it this way. Very positive things came out of them doing it this way, whereas they got to watch the bugs on people's streams and fix them live on stream and all that stuff before they release it live. But I still I really like the way they did that. I didn't get into the first release of ArcCorp, and some other people did, and it made everything fair for everybody. Because not only did you not spoil anything for people, like there's so many people that are just sitting here right now, and all they want to do is play what we're playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you, but I feel guilty. I feel a little bit guilty that I get to play it before them.
Because I'm active
and
in
they
the
have to
issue
watch
council.
me.
It's pretty crashy, man.
It's pretty
but
crashy.
It's so good still, too.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm super active in the issue council. I'm super active by playing this game all the time. So I don't feel guilty. It sucks. I agree that it sucks for some people and whatever, but I said this last time. I made it clear to everybody because I was in the first round last time, because the issue council, when it came out, I was very active in it, and I continue to be active in it. And I said, if you want to get into this, you guys know what you need to do. You need to be active in the issue council to get into the next one. And I made that very clear for everybody, right? That if you want to do this, and then it comes out and people are surprised that they're not getting in at all, and they want to get in and they want to play, and it's like, well, they've let in more than people that have just been in with the issue council now, but it's.
I do think that there should be other avenues to be able to apply for the PTU.
Yes.
So that if you have the foresight a week earlier, the CIG saying, we're going to release this PTU, we're going to release it tonight, that you can apply it through some channel to say, look, genuinely CIG, look at my channel, I need this, I do a Star Citizen channel or a Star Citizen stream. You are literally disabling me and my viewers by not giving it to me. There does need to be an alternative way for that, because thinking about it, it really isn't
there used
fair.
to be, but there no longer is.
It really isn't fair for some people, especially if you've got a dedicated Star Citizen stream and you've been making content for them.
Right.
So, but it's a hard thing to balance for CIG.
Yeah, I agree with Twerk. I think that for the bigger content creators should have, especially the ones that have stuck around with Star Citizen, Twerk should have been in first wave, right? I agree with that. But the issue is where does that line stop? Unless they say, unless they make like a hard line in the sand or something like that, it gets
the other thing.
And
that
you can't do that with Twitch and YouTube.
No, you can't. You can. The other thing they could do is go full NDA, not allowed.
That's what I.
Yeah, that's what they.
That's what I want.
Last time.
That's what I want.
But
full NDA.
And then people have questioned me about it. Is also another argument has been, what about the backers like me who have given so much money to the project? Shouldn't they get a chance to get in that wave also, because they pretty much have gone above and beyond everybody else to get this game into development and to.
But then, what number is that? Do you say?
Right, and it comes down
point.
to the same thing.
Yeah,
it comes down to
a
the
guy
same
who gave
thing,
$1,000 versus a guy who gave 10,000. Like, it's still all an excessive amount of money for a video game. So, like, at what point? That's why they don't do that, I think, because at what point because money is a very as someone who works in a casino, money is a very relative thing. Whereas $100 means a certain amount to me, that it means to Saurus, that it means to Bored, that it means to you. It's all different for each one of us. They all have a different value to us. So it's not fair to say I've spent $30,000 or I've spent $10 or I've spent $35, because that $35 might have been that guy's last $35, right? So you can't ever go with money, unfortunately, because listen. Clifford, you are a goddamn saint, and you've done so many good things for the game. Of course you deserve access to the PTU, but at the same time, I think they have to stray away from that for that reason.
Oh, right? and that's. I'm just, I wanted to bring up that example because that question has been brought to me many times before, because I got into this PTU, but the last two I didn't get in. So, until I started posting, bugs and et cetera. But it's just like, it's the same thing, though.
So that will encourage people to post more bugs. Now, I didn't get in first wave. And I'm really active at posting bugs and contributing. Yeah. So
I think it's because you're English.
But that means lots of other people are a lot more active than me. And what I see as quite active isn't as active as other people.
Active enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So and people saying that Clifford should get in the first wave and that other people should get in the first wave. Well, that first wave is for our convenience as players. It's to get the bugs smashed out from people who are good at smashing out bugs.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's annoying because you want it and you want it now, but there are reasons they do it that way, and they're not always the best, and they can be tweaked. But in this situation, I think it was okay. The first 1,000 anyway. The fact that they added another 5,000 on afterwards, and people felt left out. I don't know. It's a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a hard one.
It is. It's hard to be them, and it's hard to sit here and talk about it too.
There's no real good answer to that. Moving on. FPS, will it be out by March? It's in the PTU now. Asked and answered. Deltron3030 asks, now that we have the P72 Archimedes, it's somewhere between the M50 and the Omega. Is it, though? Do you think it'll be the number one...
Performance-wise,
okay.
Yes.
Do you think it'll be the number one race ship with the new flight mechanics?
No, because it's going to be in between one of those two.
Yeah.
So
you answered your own question in the question.
And I think that all of the ships are going to be better or worse on different courses. Yes. I think there's going to be a course...
Like they are now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. But there's definitely going to be courses that P72, the Archimedes, is best on.
Yeah.
And there's going to be courses that the M50R is best on. And, yeah. So.
And then that's all going to be thrown out the window when engine tweaking comes into effect and everything else.
Yes.
I mean, I already hear that people are taking weapons and stuff off their ships and going faster and all sorts of things. Yeah. So it's going to... Yeah. I really hope racing... I know racing was kind of like a side thing for later, but I really hope racing ends up being a similar to like dogfighting, where it doesn't really matter what ship you're in. It matters how good of a pilot you are. Like, there's some really good pilots in Auroras. There's some really good pilots in Avengers and 325As and so on.
But I still want the aspect of, just like any racer out there in the NASA, and NASCAR, is just also it might be rely on how good are you tweaking at your engine, how good are you at maybe buying new components for your ship, for your race ship. They might even come out with different metals that you can disassemble some plates off the deal and get lighter, more lightweight plates to put on your ship, in certain parts of it, or different wings that you could actually attach to it to give it different aerodynamics. Who knows?
Yeah, there's totally going to be racing tuned / racing created or racing modded items.
There's going to be lots of overclocking and tweaking in general, isn't there? And
I think there's going to actually just be components that are for racers. Like, they'll be lighter or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, like they'll be lighter, but they won't. It doesn't matter if they show, have a signature for stuff, because who cares? You're racing, right? So I think there'll be stuff.
Are we going to see like lowriders in Star Citizen? Are we going to see people just pimping out vehicles just to turn up just around the verse and literally go, "Hey guys"?
I would hope so. I would hope you would be able to maybe customize your components a little bit. Like maybe put chrome on them and things like
Neons
that.
everywhere, yeah.
Yeah.
Suspension and space suspension.
It's just changing the materials, the material color. I don't think that would be that difficult.
But yeah,
right?
I mean,
jobs,
to answer the question, I mean, I don't think it's going to be the number one ship. AZ Tricky asks, how do you feel about the amount of sound when outside the station in the vacuum of space, being able to hear shooting outside? Rule of cool. I think it's cool. They've said that they are going to be able to turn that off. You can always just mute your stuff. And
there's always that question, but in the end,
just mute your
with
stuff.
No sound,
you
really have a video game?
Yeah,
probably
just
not,
you could literally just mute everything, and then that's you're in space. NK Sharp asked Twerk17, do you have a dress picked out for when Star Citizen hits $100 million?
You know what? I don't. I have. There's a girl that lives here, so I can pick out a dress. The wig is what I thought about today. I was like, I think I gotta go look for a wig. I gotta go look for a wig. Is it gonna be blonde? Is it gonna be red? How long is it gonna be? Is it gonna be a ponytail? Am I gonna have highlights? Am I gonna have a sweet beach wave in my hair? Something like that. So I gotta think about all that stuff, because I am screwed. Every bet I've lost. And
I would be happy, just so you know, as an alternative of dressing up as a girl, I'd be happy if you dressed up as a cute Christmas elf.
Christmas elf. With makeup.
So we now know BoredGamer's
a girl
fetish.
Elf. A girl elf.
It's no, it's twerk as an elf. That's my only fetish.
Yeah. Well, for the bet to be complete, he would need to be a female elf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just said a
That's not
girl
my
that lives
fetish,
here.
don't like it.
Nobody believes that I have a girlfriend. Saurus has seen the girlfriend. Just prove it.
I'm not.
Please.
I'm not confirming or denying anything. I'm
You're
sorry.
such a dick.
Is that in the same way that
that's-
I've seen Slender Man?
I just have to say, yeah, right. It's redacted. The girlfriend is redacted.
I fucking hate you. So
Yeah. Deltron 3030 asks, with the increase of the UE terrorist attack, did that affect your decision to get a combat ship over an industrial ship? And this is to all of us. No.
No. No, not at all. Because those attacks are going to take place in certain areas, and if you want to take part in that, you can. I did pick up one. I have a combat ship to play some combat if I want to, but I still pick up ships based on playing as many game mechanics as I possibly can. So, nope.
I don't know.
You don't know
I
if
want all the ships.
Yeah, but did the increased UE terrorist attack get you to buy ships, essentially?
No.
One ship over another.
I don't think so.
No. And Clifford has all of them, so no, obviously. NK Sharp asks again, do you think Star Citizen will ever be balanced enough to have an actual esports scene, whether through Star Marine or Arena Commander?
So every game like that will have some form of esports scene. It depends on how big it is.
Yeah.
Even if it's not balanced, there will still be some form of esports scene because you can balance it with the way that the actual tournament works, like how many matches you fight against on each side or whatever. You can balance it that kind of way. And I remember Star Citizen, I remember them talking about doing esports, and it would be competitive for esports, but we haven't heard much more than that.
I mean, guys, you just everybody fly the same ship. What's the problem? Same ship, same weapons, balanced, done.
Well,
Game over.
It's whether they've got it in mind when they're making certain aspects of it. That's the important thing, so that it's actually
have that
good
in the lobby
to play the
system
right
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They need to have a full-blown lobby system in those things built in where you can go and join specific matches that have restrictions that can be set by the person who sets those games.
Yeah. So I'd love to see Eve type ship battles where you have, if you've seen the way the Eve big tournaments are done,
like almost like a chess game, right?
Yeah,
where you have a certain amount of points. Right.
Yes.
Ships and weapons are worth points. And you allocate.
You can have as many players as you want.
You could have different levels, right? You could have 5,000 point games, you could have 20,000 point games, and you could have 1,000,000 point games, right? Or something like that, where it's like, it's like your 2-mans, your 3-mans, and your 5-mans, right? In World of Warcraft, for example.
People keep mentioning like, oh, there's tuning. Like, guys, if it is esports, if it is a game where people are essentially playing for money at an event or something like that, they are not going to be on their PCs. They are going to be set up in a certain instance.
But everybody will. The thing is, everybody will have the same access to those things.
Yeah, like in the end, it's going to be set guidelines for esports. So there's not going to be any tuning. There's not going to be any of that.
Well, that's not necessarily true. Once again, you can't say that because that's not true. Because you could do that.
And you can't have esports.
Yes, you can.
And you can't have esports.
You can.
There'll be some form of balance, whatever it is. We're not entirely sure. I mean, you could have esports on racing, possibly with tuning. We don't know. We don't know enough.
Tuning for racing is different than tuning for weapons.
How is it different?
Well,
everybody has the ability to do it.
It could be points value. So you could have a tuned weapon, but it would be more points.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So
because there's always something balanced. Overpowered that people complain about.
Yeah, it has to be balanced in some way.
Yeah, and what a lot of people are saying is esports equals entertainment for viewers. So if it's not entertaining to watch, then there won't be an esports scene. Yeah. But I still think you have to come in with this ship and these components.
One thing came to mind to me about the esport things. You brought me on there. When I watched a little bit of TwitchCon, what I thought was very entertaining was when they had all the high profile streamers like Ko and them. They were playing what's that new zombie game?
H1Z1?
Yeah, H1Z1 on the big map or the gas, and they gotta go in. That was entertaining, and there's not really much balance there. It's if you can find a bigger gun or nothing, and be sly about getting to this, to the next zone and stuff. That was very entertaining, and that, in myself, I hope they do that more often because that would be a great esports because it's entertainment. It's very entertaining, and it's just basically relying on the player to be really good. And it's basically like a flip of a coin. You don't know if they're going to win or lose each time.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, that's just my 2 cents.
So, next question from Deltron33 asks myself, why haven't I gotten a Merchantman to pirate in? Because I have no interest in it.
We don't know, like, it's so...
the
Merchantman is one of those mysterious ships that we don't really know all that much about.
All I know is it got secret weapons that whip out when it needs to, and it looked awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to do 3 more questions here. We have a whole bunch still in here, but I'm going to go through real quick. And there's so many questions, guys. And we can carry these over until next week if there's still...
The rec question has to get answered.
What is the rec question? Go ahead and ask it.
Okay, it's from Maxtor M, and he asks, can you fly rec ships in 2.0 Alpha, or is it just only for Arena Commander? I think what they mentioned to us is they're still trying to figure out a system, but I do believe that if we rent ships in your hangar, that you can pick them up, use them in the PU.
In the
but
PTU,
I'm not 100%.
Currently, it is just ships that you own.
Yeah. But this is for the release parts, which they might run into issues with that. So it's hard to say. But they're coming up with a currency system because they don't want us to just be locked with what we currently have now, like the Arena Commander original release. So there will be something.
Yeah.
I think is the way to answer that question.
There'll be something. We just don't know what that is yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. I have one here from Narcoleptic Pig that says, currently objects are static in the verse. Asteroids, satellites, space stations, moons, things like that. Will CIG be putting these assets into orbit around the relative planets, or will they be staying static long term? This is something that they're looking into, but they cannot guarantee at this point in time. They want to make it do that, but
Chris said he wants it. Yeah.
They don't know how difficult or simple it's going to be to do. Duxie asks really quickly to BoredGamer, are you doing any more organization reviews?
Yes. And I'll be doing lots of smaller ones. I'm going to do a section of smaller ones and then mix in smaller with larger ones again. I've been busy doing lots of other random stuff, but I want to make sure I try and get at least one of them done a week, because they weren't popular on Reddit because people saw it as me attempting to recruit for those orgs. So I apologise for that. But I do think they're important because a lot of players don't know who they want to play with in an org. And
and there's not always enough information for them to make that decision. And actually, hearing the people is it's different.
Make their case.
Make a section on the website or something, and I'll put them all in there, so people can make a recent response there.
The last question, Magnetron GW2 asks, do you think Star Citizen should inform the media better about the game, how it is not pay to win, and how you're backing the project, and that you get a time-gated product in return? Also, do you think the ship commercials should be back? I'm going to tackle that question first. I think that they already do that. And they do not need to allocate any more time away from what they do currently to do that more. That is purely the media's fault, going after clickbait titles and headlines and knowing whatever is going to get them more traffic. Therefore, people are reading that and, they're not doing the research. Number 2, in terms of the ship commercials, whether they should be back or not, after they're done with Squadron 42. Then they can start bringing those commercials back. They've already said
I don't think that they should do those commercials unless they don't take much time or money.
Yeah.
So I like them, but what I prefer them to do is in-game stuff. If they can do...
Well, yeah, they were the in-game commercials. Right?
I like the in-game stuff. If they can do them all in-game, literally in-engine, in-game, I think that would be amazing.
There's one little part that we're forgetting, though, is they haven't sold a ship that had in-game assets in quite a while. So I would love to see them come back, but they've pretty much only sold concept ships. So we're just looking at a stagnant image. when we're purchasing. So it's
but I'm talking about
actually impossible for them to.
Well, it's not impossible for them to create commercials for ships in game. It would fit in the lore. It would fit on the screens, like when you go to the bar and stuff that you have.
But not to sell ships.
Not to sell them. No, that's not the
at
question. At
the concept sale
or
at the sale.
Right, and that's not the question.
I thought it was.
No, it was just, do we think that the ship commercial should come back?
Well, I do. Yeah. If that's the question, then the answer is yes. But.
Yeah. What I think they should do with the ship commercials is like when they know like the Herald when it's going to become hangar ready and flyable. I would like them to just do quick in-game footage of it real quick and then put it back up for sale again with that footage so people can say, okay, here's your chance, here's the footage, we're fixing to release it, here's your chance to buy it. And then it's going to go away after a week.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would be kind of awesome sales pitch for them. To show it actually in engine working. Just a short one, not an actual full commercial, but just a tidbit. And then, like you said, Source, do the commercials later on. Somebody on the side could do it, now that they have a working ship to use.
Yeah, so when you go to a ship manufacturer in game at their commercial runnings on the panel like they are now for the previous commercials, totally agree. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's many people here that didn't love those commercials.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they were awesome. But I don't know what kind of assets they take in cost effectiveness. So, like, I think they would have to take the production quality down.
Not necessarily. They just have to wait till the game's the stuff is done, and then they can start making all the in-game stuff that they want. Right? They just use in-game locations with in-game ships. That's the whole thing, is just creating the in-game stuff. So that wraps it up for this episode of Redacted. Sorry we didn't get to all the questions. There was a whole bunch in there, but we are limited on time. Torque, what are you up to this weekend? Where can people find you?
I'm trying to think. I have to kind of look at... I want to mention something. I don't know if it'll be this week. Just let me look at the calendar real quick. No, it will not. Well, I guess it falls on next Tuesday, but I'm obviously just going to be playing as much PTU as possible, and hopefully live build with you guys. As soon as things get like fully stable, I think this goes for all of us. We're going to try and play as much with you guys out there as possible. Woo. And which is super exciting. And coming up, starting Tuesday, December 1st, there's a little thing with Twitch alerts that they're doing for charity. So each day there's 50% of your donations automatically go to a different charity on each day, and it's 12 days of Christmas. So that's kind of what's going to be going on over for my channel for in December. So that's kind of something I wanted to mention. But I don't think it'll just be 50%. So I'll probably just donate the remaining 50% to a charity of my choice, most likely. I just kind of that popped up today. So yeah,
right on. And where can people find you?
They can find me here on this channel, obviously, twitch.tv/Twerk17, and at Twerk17 Gaming on both Twitter and YouTube. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And YouTube, what are you... Or YouTube. I just called you
YouTube.
YouTube.
My God.
Hey, YouTube.
Oh, my God.
Wow, we're with a millionaire? Or a billionaire?
God.
Right.
Hey, YouTube. Hey, Bored, what are you up to
Hey, YouTube, you talk now.
This week.
So other than all the latest like Star Citizen news shows and things that I do on the weekends, over the next week I'll be doing lots of 2.0 content, as well as the Ship Buyer's Guide stuff, because I haven't done the Crucible properly yet, and I probably missed out on another ship as well that I need to do. But yeah, I'll be getting lots of Star Citizen content up. Thank you so much for all of my viewers and my subscribers and people that email me with ideas, because that really does help me. My Patreon backers, you guys absolutely rock, by the way. I love your faces. And you can find me on youtube.com/BoredGamerUK. And literally, guys, send me your ideas for videos. I always are looking for more ideas for videos. In fact, I spend a couple of hours each day just thinking about ideas. So if you give me one, that I'll do phrasing at some point. Then it helps me out no end, and I happily credit people that give me ideas. But you guys are rock, and thanks so much. You allow me to do this.
And if you guys popped in a little bit late, the VOD will be the only place you'll be able to find the VOD is over on BoredGamer's YouTube channel. So
that's right.
Check it out.
And Clifford, What are you up to for the next little bit?
You're on the spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna play some PTU, of course, and I think I'm gonna try and stream a little bit today and the days going forward here and there. They can find me on Twitch, Clifford _aka _Miku. You can find me on Twitter at Clifford _Miku, and on the YouTubes.
And on
but
the
I haven't
YouTubes.
posted anything on YouTube. Yeah, but I haven't even posted anything on YouTube for a while, so I would kind of ignore that for now.
Hey, YouTube, start posting more things on YouTube.
Oh, fuck off.
For myself, we have a huge raffle happening for subscribers. We are still taking all the money donated to the channel and putting towards that. We're already at $350. I also want to say a huge thank you to everybody who's come out and supported the channel, either through donations or being subscribers. This is by far the most amount of subs that I've ever had by an extreme amount. And it does mean quite a lot to me. After this, I'm going to, literally right after this podcast, I'm going to be going and playing the PTU. So if you guys want to come over and hang out and do that stuff, you can find me on twitch.tv/WTFOSarus, twitter.com/WTFOSarus, and if you just search WTFOSarus on YouTube, it's like Saurus Twitch or something.
People are saying it's pretty stable, so I'll probably go live as well and play.
Woo!
Play with.
Well, fuck it, I'll come and play as well. Shit.
Yeah, let's do some.
Yeah,
let's see if we can do some shit together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I will see you guys later. Thanks for coming to this podcast, and I will see you guys soon.